Hello, welcome back to Bebop Review. My name's Andy Shaw. Today we're going to be talking about scale degree activity. I want to talk about this because a lot of people don't know about this. In fact, some people I know have been playing years and years, like 30 years, don't really understand this. I was at a jazz workshop in Sheffield last week, and I went in the very highest group, and the guy who was teaching, called Chris Walker, he was a guitar player. He didn't really understand this scale degree activity thing. I corrected him on something, and he says, "Oh, I don't bother thinking about all those things now," which really surprised me. Actually, I think this is important, especially in bebop, and he was actually teaching bebop, believe it or not. So I want to go through it anyway. I want to go through this because I think when you get into tunes like Blues for Alice, you really need to understand what's happening in that sequence of chords, and this will help you when we go into scale degree activity. So first thing we do, we're going to look at major scales first. So I'll write down a major scale. I'm going to try and get all this in. So I'm going to write it down like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So I've wrote it down like so we can get in. So you probably know all this, but I just want to go through it because what it is some people know parts of it, but they don't really understand the other bits. And then when you start talking about certain advanced things, they don't quite get it all, So I want to make sure you get it all. So each one of these notes, right, I'm just showing you C major scale here, but it could be any scale, any major scale. In major scales, each note has a name related to the key kind of thing. So the first one's called the tonic, which I'm sure you all know. So the tonic's most important. In C major, the note C, in a C major scale, the note C is tonic. But if we had an A major scale, the note A would be tonic, wouldn't it? If we had an E major scale, the note E would be tonic. So it's the first, I'll put one actually, it's the first note of the scale, right? Now the next most important after the tonic, right, which is these two, is this one, the dominant, which is number 5, tone 5, right? This is the next most important. So here we've got the dominant. It's very good. Mainly the dominant is important in harmony because it makes a 5 chord, doesn't it? What leads to 1, because it's really good. And the next one after the dominant is the note built on 4, which is called the subdominant. Which is called the subdominant. Right, the subdominant is called the subdominant because it's a fifth below the dominant. Right, if you look at, I mean, it's not a fifth there, but like if you looked at a piece of music, let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, this is in treble clef, right? If you look at C there, right, that'd be the dominant there, and that's a perfect fifth. And just there would be the subdominant. That's a perfect fifth below, you see. So it's called subdominant because it's below the tonic, perfect fifth below the tonic. The dominant's called a perfect fifth above the tonic, see. Okay, so that's why that's called that. And then the next most important is this one, the mediant. And the mediant is the 3rd degree of the scale, right? And the next one is this one, submediant. I think you know why it's called submediant. Yep, you've got it, because if we draw a piece of music like that, in treble clef, and that's the C, then the submediant, the mediant is there, and the submediant is there, a 3rd below. So you've got a 3rd above and a 3rd below. Okay, so submediant is a 3rd below the tonic, mediant is a 3rd above the tonic. Okay, so that's why you get them names. It's amazing to me, some people don't even understand that, why it's called submediant, subdominant and that. And then we've got these other two, right? We've got this one, which is the supertonic. That's a tone above C, and then this one, which is not a tone, it's half a tone. This one here, the 7th note, that's the second, by the way. The 7th note, this B, is called the leading note. Leading note, and that leads to C. Kind of wants to go to C because there's only half a tone there, so half a tone. So in our little, marking outs, we'd call that a 1, wouldn't we? We'd call that a 1 in half. If we're measuring half tones, we'd call that 1. Anyway, that is something you need to memorize. So that's the names of the scale degrees in major keys. Okay, so you want to memorize that. Okay, write it all down and memorize it. And now we'll look at minor keys. Okay, so we're looking at a natural minor scale, also known as an Aeolian, because it's the 6th mode of a major scale, which in this case would be E flat major, wouldn't it? E flat, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so it's the 6th mode of E flat major. And the names are pretty much the same. This is called the tonic, which again is the most important. And then we've got the dominant. I'll just go in a supertonic, mediant, subdom, dominant, submediant, and this one, see how it's flat? It's not really a leading note in it because it's a full tone down from that, so we call this the subtonic, and then obviously it goes back to tonic. Okay, so only difference is we've got subtonic, the name subtonic, and that's basically all you get in all the major and minor chords. If you look at, I'll just go through them one after other quite fast, and if you want to, you can write them down. Okay, so that's natural minor. Okay, so I'll just go through some of the modes before we go to the other minor scales. So a Lydian mode would be C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. Right, a Lydian mode just has the 4th is sharp, that's the only thing. And basically you've got exactly the same thing. Tonic, subtonic, medium, subdominant, dominant, submediant, leading note, because it's a B this time going to the C, so that's called a leading note. I'm not going to write it down. If you want to, you can write it down. So that's a Lydian scale, right? I'll give you a mixed Lydian, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. The only difference between a mixed Lydian and major scale is this 7th, which is flattened, and basically you get exactly the same thing: tonic, supertonic, medium, subdominant, dominant, submedian, but this time because it's flat, it's a flat 7th, it's subtonic, and then we get the tonic again. Okay, so that's the only difference. You don't have to really write these down if you want. I'm just giving them to you if you want them, because we don't get that much modal stuff in bebop. So next one I'll give you is the Dorian, which is obviously based on the 2nd degree of a major scale, isn't it? It's from D to D if you're talking in the scale of C major. So Dorian would be C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C. So Dorian, compared to a major scale, a Dorian has a flat 3rd and a flat 7th, and basically you get the same thing: tonic, supertonic, medium, subdominant, dominant, submediant, and then again subtonic because it's a flattened 7th, and then back to the tonic again. So that's the Dorian. I've given you the natural minor and to the Aeolian, so I would give you the Phrygian now. Phrygian. So this is C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. So that's your Phrygian. Compared to a C major scale, you've got four. You've got the second and third flattened and the sixth and seventh flattened. So that's a Phrygian scale. And you've basically got the same thing. Tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant, and subtonic again. Okay? Because it's a full tone below that. So we'll have a look at the last one, last mode. And that's Locrian, isn't it? So that's C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat. And it's the same thing. You can see that we've got tonic, supertonic, medium, subdominant, dominant, submediant, and subtonic, because it's a full tone again. So I won't worry too much about these mode stuff unless you want to get into modal playing. You're not going to see it much in bebop, but it's just handy to know all this stuff. So they're the letter names. So you really want to know really the natural minor in all that lot. So the major and the natural minor. And the main difference in the scale degree is that the seventh is called subtonic. Okay? Okay, so this is the harmonic minor. I'll just write it down. So it's C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B, C. And the same as the names are the same. Tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdom, dominant, submediant, and then again we've got half a tone here, so this is the leading note. Oops, leading note. Okay, so these are the ones that you really need to get. So you've got the major, the natural minor, and the harmonic minor. These are the ones you're going to find in bebop, so make sure you understand what these are. So harmonic minor has got this leading note, whereas in natural minor it's called a subtonic, like that B, because it's a B flat. Okay, so we're looking here at the melodic minor scale. So I'll just write it down. Melodic minor, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C. So it's just the same as a major scale, except it's got a flat and a third. So first note is the tonic again. Second, supertonic. Third's mediant. Fourth, subdom. Fifth is dominant. Sixth is submediant. And seventh is a B going C, so you've got half a tone here. Half a tone, so this is a leading note. But when it goes down, remember, this cancels and that goes to flat, so it kind of changes, doesn't it? So this ends up becoming a subtonic because it goes back to the natural minor scale, which I've already showed you. But that's basically the melodic minor, which you need to know. Okay. So now we'll talk about scale degree activity in these scales. I'm not going to look at the modes, right, because they're just variations of the major scale. But I want to look at scale tendency, note tendency in minor scales and the major scale. So we'll start off first with the major scale. Okay, hope you're following this. Main thing to do is write it all down if you're not sure. So let's have a look at tendency notes. What's happening? Let me think. I'm going to write this down. So we'll just talk about scale degree activity now. I'll start off with major scales. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Obviously this works. This is same thing for all major scales. Right. The notes C, G and E, so the tonic, the dominant and the mediant are all considered stable tones. Okay, and the next lot of tones are considered active, and that's basically everything else. So the supertonic, tonic, the subdominant, the submediant, and the leading note. They're all considered to be active, and within that group, right, let me just knock that out so you can see better. Within that group, there's two notes that are considered to be what are called tendency tones, and that is, hold on, tendency tones, right, and that is the subdominant, which is this one, and the leading note, which is this one. Because this note tends to want to go to that C because there's only half a tone there, and that F wants to go to that E. It wants to resolve to that E. So you want to remember that. This is one of the things about bebop actually. In bebop, chromatic notes are added, and those chromatic notes have a tendency to want to resolve. And the beboppers, in lots of these patterns that they use a lot of chromatic notes simply as ways of driving to another note, if you know what I mean. You'll see as we go further into this. Okay, so that's major scales. So move on. So in natural minor scale, which would be C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. Right, that's a natural minor. We get the same thing: tonic, supertonic, medium, submediant, dominant, subdominant, dominant, submediant, this subtonic note and the tonic, right? Now the stable tones are the same thing. You've got the tonic, the mediant, and the dominant, right? They're so stable would be tonic, mediant, and dominant. So in this example, we're talking C, E, and G, right? And then you've got active tones. Remember, this is natural minor scale. You've got active tones of supertonic, tonic, which is D in this example, subdominant, which is F, submediant, which is A flat, and subtonic, which is B flat. And the only tendency tones is the sub-mediant pulling to dominant, which is that. Right, so in this one it would be A flat, right? That's the sub-mediant pulling towards the dominant G. Okay, that's the only tendency tone in natural minor. So hope you wrote that down, and we'll have a look at the other minor scales. All right. Okay, so the harmonic minor scale. Right, the only difference between harmonic and major is flat third and flat six. So it's pretty similar to major. We've got the same things. The stable tones are the tonic, the mediant, and the dominant. It's the same in just about all of the scales, really. The active, just about everything else. Supertonic. So in this example, that would be C, E flat, and G. The supertonic, we've got active is supertonic, sub-dom, sub-mediant, and leading tone. Okay, and the tendency tones, or in this example that would be D, F, A flat, and B. Okay, tendency tones, you've got the sub-mediant pulling to dominant. As you can see, we've got the A flat going there, so in that case it would be A flat going to G. And you've also got the leading tone to tonic, which the harmonic minor is all about, to put in this leading tone into it for the harmony. So hope you've wrote that down and you're going to memorize that. Okay, so what we got left? I think we've got melodic minor scale, haven't we, left? Okay, melodic minor scale. I just want to apologise if you can hear some banging in the background. It's the skateboard park next door. It's making a right row. I can hear it real loud, but this mic is supposed to just pick my voice up, so hopefully you're only hearing me. So melodic minor scale. We'll look at first of all the stable tones. And it's exactly the same. They're all the same, these. It's tonic, which is C in this case. Not sub-mediant, mediant. Can't even write it down. Mediant, which would be flat, and dominant, which would be G. And then we've got active, which is just everything else. So you've got the supertonic, the subdom, the raised, submediant. That's this one here, raised submediant. It's called raised submediant because in the natural minor scale, which this reverts to when it's descending, that becomes flat, doesn't it? And then leading tone. Okay, and the tendency tones. Tendency tones. Well, we've got the lowered submediant, which when the scale's going down, so I'll just write the descending melodic minor, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. You can see that A flat there, the lowered sub-median is wanted to pull to that G, so it's A flat going towards G into in this case. And then you've also got the leading tone is also a tendency tone, because in the ascending melodic minor that B wants to go to C. So that's all the all the major and minor scales, which we'll see in B, but basically I've explained to you. So hope you got all that and you memorise it or whatever, as long as you know it. So I hope you've been writing it all down, because it's very important, this, and if you don't know it, you'll start struggling, I think, a bit later on. So that's it for this lesson. So see you in the next lesson. Okay, bye.